the managers and all of their social media team are taking videos of the sound check, and then they're going to the front of house engineer and saying giving mixed decisions and critiques based
Oh,
on what
wow.
they think the TikTok reel is gonna sound like,
That's
because that's how
incredible.
important it is.
And
And so
us in
for
the
you
church think we have hard critics.
yeah, oh my gosh, no, you like, it's I always, like this is not maybe I shouldn't. Okay, I'll say it anyways. But like, you know, every engineer, front of house engineer in the church, they feel like they want to mix in a bubble, meaning like they want to be like the last imperial judge of like what, the expert that the way things should sound and uh, all the tonality choices and arrangement. Like we harbor like very strong opinions. Like I don't know an engineer that doesn't have strong opinions. um, but one thing maybe that's helpful to hear is like as I've kind of worked for different tiers of artists, the higher you go, the more people are involved in the way things sound. I am working with not just the artist, but their manager and a music director and maybe a band director and an arranger and a tracks person
It's a great call out.
and the mixer of the studio record will show up and listen to it. Like I did a show at the Greek in LA and Manny Marroquin showed up who mixed the record and it freaked me out because he's like a hero, but he had stuff like he was like, "Hey, like song 3, like, I mixed it like this." And I'm like, "Totally get it. Like that makes sense." So, I just think like even in a live stream, it just look at it as like a collaborative endeavor, and the more people you can have involved. Um, I always say like collaboration is more important than like, let's say you have a shortcoming as an engineer and you're not hitting a target that people want, but let's say you're collaborative. Like those shortcomings are embraced rather than when you have shortcomings and you're like, this is the way. Guess what? Like you might not have a job after a few months because they're just like, not only is the engineer not hitting the target, but they don't want like to collaborate and make it better because they feel like this is the way it should be and they know best, and it's just like, whenever I jump around from artist to artist a lot, and in the course of a year I'll work for 5 or 6, 7 people, and guess what? They all have different uh objectives and preferences. They might be hiring me because not because of the way I mix, but because I might be easier to work with, and I'm pretty open-handed. Like I don't care where the guitar goes, just tell me where to park it. If I'm mixing at a church locally here in San Diego and they say 88 dB, I'm like, great, that's where I'm going to put it. If they say more kick drum, great, less kick drum, no problem. And I just think like the more open you can be to feedback. That's why that Wavestream plugin is great because like when like 10 people have the QR code and they're all listening to it, and you've got that group text thread of everyone that's chiming in, and you're making the adjustments, like you don't have to wonder what people want or don't want. Like when you're doing a good job because everyone's happy, whether as opposed to I know best and you're just meeting opposition week after week and people are saying things and the musicians are in the green room after the service saying, "Well, like, oh, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter what we do on stage because so and so out front is not going to do it anyways. They don't even, you just don't want any of that. You want like everyone to just feel pumped that you're out front, and they see you. The highest compliment for me is just like an artist said, like, "When I see your bald head out there, it just gives me so much confidence." And, I was just like, I don't know if it gets better than that, you know?